Hi everyone, if you're new to my channel, my name is Nicole. I do a lot of foundation related videos, reviews and swatches, concealer stuff, lipstick, empties, favorites, that kind of thing. So today I'm here to talk to you about the new Morphe Fluidity Full Coverage Matte Foundation. So I went ahead and made a purchase online and got this sample card because I was very curious in the lightest shades because they had 3 shades within the same depth in theory that had different undertones, and that's pretty unusual. A lot of times the really fair shades will only have one undertone and then it will kind of make a jump down. So I was hoping this would be another option with different undertones within the very fair foundation category because that's kind of a growing area now. For reference, good color matches for me are the Smashbox Studio Skin in 0.1, Clinique Even Better in CN 0.5 Shell, and also ColourPop No Filter Foundation in Fair 05. And I will throw out there Fenty Pro Filter in the new shade 105 is a little bit dark, but that yellow undertone is a good match for my undertone. So I have these kind of muted, cool yellow undertones that there aren't a lot of options that are also very fair that have that kind of yellow undertone to them. So I saw that this had a neutral, a slightly yellow undertone, and a cool undertone, all within the Fairest category. I got the sample card. I've only swatched those 3, but let's take a look at the swatches real quick before we talk much more. And yeah, these swatches have kind of confused me, but we're doing it. Hourglass Vanish Stick in Blanc, Morphe F1.10, Too Faced Born This Way in Cloud, Morphe F1.20, Fenty Pro Filter in 100, Fenty Pro Filter in 105, Smashbox Studio Skin in 0.1, generally a good shade match for me, Clinique Even Better in CN 0.5 Shell, also a good shade match for me, Morphe F1.30, Marc Jacobs Remarkable in 10 Ivory Light, Lancome 10 Idol Ultra in 90N in the old formula, and Estee Lauder Double Wear in 1C0 Shell. So I was so confused about how dark this turned that I swatched it again on my hand here to compare to those other swatches that had been sitting there for a while. I feel like it doesn't look as stark on my hand because my hand's kind of purple at the moment. I tried to get a little more blood flowing through my arm so we could see a little color and it wouldn't look so purple. Because right now everything's just looking so kind of neon colored. So these, and these are the Morphe, and they don't go on looking that strongly undertoned. I'm wearing this on my face. I don't think it looks orange on my face. The 2 things that match me well here are definitely lighter. I also can wear the Fenty 105 without any problems, and it's a little more strongly yellow. So I don't think these 2 are really that dissimilar. It's just this has a little bit more of an orangey tone and this one's more straight yellow. I don't know, man. I'm confused. Alright, this is kind of awkward, but this is what they look like when they're wet. I feel like that's a pretty big jump from wet to dry. There's wet to dry, wet to dry. I mean, it's not super unusual. I certainly have seen things like this in the past, but it is kind of a bummer because it's not like every foundation has to do this. I know some people have issues with the Fenty oxidizing a lot. To me, it doesn't, on me, it doesn't change all that much. I feel like 100 really doesn't oxidize much on me at all. Yeah, but I mean, this looks like neon compared. I feel like this one's not too bad. Okay, so you'll see there, and what I talked about there is that they dry down really dark. And I feel like on my face it's fine. One of the things that I wore a lot, I used almost the entire bottle, was that Lancome Teint Idole Ultra in 90N. I'm no stranger to using foundations that are darker than my neck. My face is freckled and has redness, and I'm just trying to lighten it a little bit, cover the redness, and get it kind of matching to my neck and my chest and the rest of me. But I do tend to go light to medium coverage at most, so a shade match is not super critical. I'd rather go a little too dark on my face than too light on my face. I feel like I look very strange when my face is too light. Things that do look too light on me would be Estee Lauder Double Wear in 0N1 Alabaster, one of the new shades. The Too Faced Born This Way in Cloud, that can also look too light on me. So yeah. I have a feeling it will look fine also on camera because things tend to look a little bit lighter on my face when I've got all this light like blasting my face, and then I don't have as much light on my neck, so you know, it will probably look totally fine. Not orange. It did look orange on my arm though, the shade I'm wearing today, which is F1.20. So I'm kind of bummed to see that these aren't really super fair. When I initially swatched them, they looked like they were going to be very fair, but they truly darken a lot when they dry down. Like a couple shades, it seems like. It's really pretty intense. And I did notice that at first when I put it on, it was making everything look a little light pink, and now it looks fine. It doesn't have that kind of light pink look to it. I'm curious how it will look if I was outside in outdoor lighting. That can often show when I don't otherwise see that it is actually a little bit dark. So I don't know what to say. I'm so surprised. For some reason, I just did not anticipate this outcome, that they were going to oxidize so much. It's just got me extremely confused. It does catch on some of my dry patches. It seems to dry pretty quickly. It seems to go kind of like a powder matte finish. It's I wouldn't even say dry patches. I have like full-on flaking, peeling skin on part of my chin right now, and it definitely shows those flaky bits, but not as bad as some foundations I've worn recently, so it's really not terrible. If you have active dry flakes though, this is probably not the kind of formula that you're going to reach for if you often struggle with that, because a lot of other foundations are going to not accentuate it in the same way. So you can see I have some flakiness. My skin's just kind of angry right now, and it's definitely caught on all those little skin flakes, which some foundations will kind of stamp that down and it won't be super obvious. So yeah, it's just kind of accentuating all the dry flakes like around my nose. Just looks kind of a little bit dry through here. I noticed it didn't apply well up there. Just got a little kind of cakey looking, a little patchy. On the parts that aren't like peeling or otherwise irritated, it seems to have applied fine. I'm not looking to swatch all the other colors I have in this little foundation thing, but if you want me to compare any of the colors I have with other things that are in my collection, please let me know in the comments and I will just answer back, and I will probably also put it on Instagram and my stories. I have a highlights for swatches, and I could just make a separate highlights for Morphe swatches in case you're curious. So for me, because my face is so finicky, I don't try to do multiple new products all at once, so I went with skincare that I know generally works with makeup well, and nothing new powder wise, etc. So I'm trying to give it my best shot, and if I have a chance I will check back in with you. Alright, so quick check-in. It is 10:42 p.m. I put this on somewhere around 3. So not a super long wear test, but I wasn't really planning to do a full wear test today. It is definitely kind of oily looking. I didn't set it, just to recap, I did not set it anywhere except for on my nose. And what I was seeing at the application was just like some of that flaking peeling. And I feel like it does look more dry on my forehead, showing those little flakes on my forehead a little more. Might be hard to see because my forehead's looking a little shiny. It's definitely more oily now, and my nose looks pretty oily. Not super oily, but definitely looks oily. My upper lip is one that can get really patchy and dry looking. It doesn't look too bad. And then this just kind of got worse, the flakiness. But, you know, it was flaky to begin with. Places that aren't dry and flaky, I feel like are looking good. I'd say it performs okay. I'd be curious to see. Sometimes things will work pretty well for like that 7 to 8 hours, and then it's like the 8 to 10 to 12 is where things really fall apart. I was expecting it to look drier, so I feel like it's not too bad actually. And yeah, I would be interested in trying it again. It is 8:36. What I'm seeing in person is it doesn't look darker per se, it just looks more pink. I just feel like it's gotten more and more pink looking. I am gonna use the Morphe setting spray because it feels pretty dry, and I noticed my highlight wasn't really sticking that well, so I was thinking maybe a little setting spray would help kind of glue it down, and I don't know if that will help it wear at all. I've only used this once, and it's not, and I think that's because my skin's in a little better shape, and it's not catching on flakes down here, so maybe today's wear test will go a little bit better, though I do feel some like crack dryness around my nose area. But I'm just gonna do the setting spray and then leave it at that. Now my chin looks a little more dewy perhaps, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna go about my day, and if things are looking different, I will check in with you. Hey guys, it is 8:21 p.m. I hadn't meant to leave it for 12 hours until I came back, but we were eating dinner at 6 o'clock, so 12 hours. It's looking pretty flaky. I feel like this probably isn't a great fit if you have dry skin, because I do feel like through here it's flaking more than I'm seeing with other foundations right now. And these are like my kind of problem dry areas. But I do feel like it maybe is drying out the dry areas. And like around my noses was already feeling pretty dry. Now it's feeling really dry. And like just all these little flakes on my forehead. I feel like I look less shiny than I did yesterday, and that may be due to the different skincare I used today. I did go in pretty heavily with moisturizer, so I think that pretty much sums up my experiences so far wearing it for 2 days. Probably not great fit for dry skin, and also it oxidizes a lot, so I don't think it gets worse throughout the day, but it definitely does from first application down to how it dries. It's definitely a different color, so I hope that's helpful. So I think that's all I wanted to say for now. Let me know if you have any plans on checking this foundation out, if you have accessibility to a Morphe store. And hopefully it will end up in Ulta, because how else are you supposed to buy a foundation when there are so many shades? Yeah, so if you want to see more videos from me, please do subscribe, hit the bell if you want a notification every time I upload a video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. Any of my videos, thank you for taking the time to watch them. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.